Model A Metal. This is the moment of truth. And we're going to get this drum out and take a look at it. Okay, here's a backing plate. Get it out of the way. One last scrape. These backing plates have been in longer than anything. Alright, here we go. Here's the drum. Oh, there's another backing plate. Put those aside for a minute. I'm interested in the drum. Okay. And what I'm really loving here is that the plastic brush takes the rust off. I think this thing's been in for 2 weeks, and I think it's been in long enough. So we're going to clean this up and get it out. All right. So again, all this stuff's coming right off. Oh, I don't know what that is. Is that grease? Get some goo here. Anyway, all up in here. This stuff come right off. All right, so I'm going to finish up this drum, and I'll be back, and we'll show you the end result. All right, so here it is. Wide 5 drum, clean as a whistle. So this drum I got with a bunch of parts. What we're gonna do is we're gonna derust this wide 5 drum. So this is the condition now, and this is what the inside looks like. I brought a wrench. So I just scraped this all off with the wire brush. Okay, I'm going to try this nut and see if I can get it off. Alright, so this nut finally broke loose. That was the last of the nuts. We'll be hitting that with a die. So I'm going to dry this clean, and then I'm going to get it to dry out. I want to get paint on it tonight. So as long as I wipe the water off, this should not flash rust. So let's see how that goes. So this drum is clean. All clean inside. There's some stuff left in there, but I think that is grease in there. But this whole thing inside is derusted. So this is the condition now, and this is what the inside looks like. Pretty rusty, but all right, so I got this thing pretty clean. I think what I've discovered though is some grease. I think what happened is there's grease in here. And I think what happened is when this thing sat for a very long time, the grease dripped down and it puddled here. So when you look at the other side, in the exact same spot, when I just wiped that, there was grease here. And there's grease here. So I think this spot right here was sitting the low spot for a long time. Yeah, there's all the grease. So anyway, now we just gotta degrease this thing, and then I'm gonna paint it. But that is clean. There's our wide 5 drum derusted. Hey, it's Bill with Model A Metal. Doing some things in the garage tonight. So we got the 31 unstuck. It's got some pitting on the wall there, but we're gonna run this and try it. We got to get a head gasket and put a head gasket on it. There's some really great videos on Model A head gasket and head installation. So here's some more on the rust removal. So these were in for a long time, over 2 weeks, and they were really rusty, and they've turned green. So I want to show you the difference between what I did today and what I did when I did these. So these were in the vinegar in a solution, probably 2 parts water, 1 part vinegar, maybe half and half. And you can see that in all these spots, you can't get in there to dry them off, especially where the springs are. I think these are usable, but they're definitely going to be put together on a car. And what I wanted to show you that I did today is I tried a neutralizer. I tried a baking soda bath after the stuff comes out. So here's a bunch of parts that were in there. You probably remember this wrench. So these parts, I did finally get all the rust out of those threads on this. This is paint, which you'll see, but this was rusty and it's all clean now. So these came out really clean. Here's the cap. I'm going to wipe that grease out of there, and I'm going to then degrease it in here, and then I'm going to put this in. I'm going to put this in with the drum and let it derust. So more on the derusting. Like I say, this cap will go in with the Wi-Fi drum to be derusted. And these got the baking soda bath. Now check this one out. This got a baking soda bath after the vinegar. So did all these. So did this. These were completely rusty. So we're seeing a part number on this now. You can see the part number. But I want to show you the difference between some wide 5 drums that we did. And then we're going to look at some other stuff. One of them came out of the vinegar and got blown off with air and dried with a towel. And the other one got into the baking soda bath. So I want to show you these differences. So here's the one with no baking soda. Here's the one with baking soda. So this still has grease on it. I have a feeling it's grease from the it's grease from leaking out, the grease that leaked out of here. So these were rusty, not too bad. This is paint. You can see the rust here. But so there's the big difference. There's a big difference between rinsing it with baking soda and not. All right, so we need to get back on this rescue dog project. And one of the reasons it took me so long to get going on this is, I'll show you. Is this right here. This is the waffle tool for doing the rivets. The rivets like here and here, here. The rivets on a Model A. So they're everywhere on this. So they're on the bottom. So this rivet tool does the waffle rivet. And I'm cheap, and I had to pay like $38 for this thing. So it took me a long time to buy it, to finally pull the trigger and buy it, because like I said, I was too cheap to buy it. I was trying to find one cheaper and I couldn't. So now we're getting back on the rescue dog. So one of the next things we want to do, and here on Model A Metal, I keep talking about, or I've written about, doing patch panels. So this is our problem here, and this is our patch. And we're going to figure out how to put this patch on this part of the car. And I'm thinking about cutting it here, and cutting it here. And one of my dilemmas right now is the back of this is really rusty. So let's take a look at that. So the back of this is really rusty. This side is really nice, inside there and underneath. It didn't get too bad with the rust. There's one spot right there that I got to fix that hole. I think I showed it to you in another video. But this over here needs to be derusted. So what happened is I had this Kool-Aid jug, and I wanted to buy another one. I couldn't find one at the store, but I did find one at the dump. So this is going to be able to be placed in that jug with the vinegar, and I'm going to derust this whole area. Now what I'm really excited about with the baking soda bath is that if we were to leave this joint here and some of these joints full of vinegar, they would badly rust. So they would rust really badly. So what we're going to do is we're going to soak that in the vinegar, then we'll put it in the neutralizer bath of baking soda, and we'll wind up not having to worry about the sandwich metal if I keep that. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep that joint and I'm going to cut around it. So this is the next patch. I'll wind up soaking some of this rust here, and we got to get going on this thing. I've got almost all my hinges now. Between a guy in Canada, I took one off of this thing that's hanging on the wall here. There was 2 pair of hinges on there, and this is one of them, and they were rusted really badly. I put them in the vinegar. I did not neutralize these, I just wiped them off. This one I think came from Canada. Some of these I bought, and I don't think any of them are new or repop. So I got one more piece to get, and I'll have all the hinge parts. I soaked these, so if you ever ask about how to get the hinge pins out of hinges, I soaked these in vinegar. I could not budge those hinge pins, and after a week or 2 of soaking in the vinegar, those pins came out by hand. So that's a good way to get the pins out, especially if you have time. If you don't have time, you can try a press, but it worked. So I have one more hinge part to get from Ed up in Winstead. You'll see him on the ham. He's got a lot of Model A parts for sale. And now with all this derusting going on, I think I'll probably just wind up derusting these doors. So you've heard me call them hack doors. They were pretty hacked up. You can see the inner structure's cut out. Some of this has been redone. I did these pieces and I got them to hang nice. So there's going to be more on these doors and more on this cowl patch, this piece here. There'll be more on this piece here. We're going to put that cowl post in that bucket of vinegar, and we're going to derust it, and then we're going to get to the place where we are doing that patch panel on the cowl post. And then we're going to start riveting this thing back together, and we're going to get back on the rescue dog and get some doors swinging on it and get moving. Bill at Model A Metal. I'll see you soon.